You're watching The Press Row. I'm Mike Sherman. He's Barry Trammell, and he's John Rohde, and we're talking about the NBA draft and Blake Griffin. Guys, did the Los Angeles Clippers win the lottery, or did Blake Griffin lose it? John.
Big loser. But you know what? He's in the right town. I mean, he can, if they figure stuff out, and it's the biggest diff in all the sports, Barry, if the Clippers figure it out, Blake could be a superstar in that town. He won't own the town. Too many other famous people are there. But they really could latch onto his coattails and maybe start something good. You think? No go?
No chance.
Not a chance.
Oh, the least profile team in the NBA is the smallest market in the NBA is the little corner of the valley that cheers for the Clippers.
I didn't know they were in one area.
Well, I don't know. I don't know where it is. I think it's all in Penny Marshall's living room is where the fan clubs all stay. But I mean, this is a moribund franchise. They've been gone from Buffalo 31 years. They had a winning season their first year out west. Since then, they've had 2 in 30 years. They've had 1 star, Elton Brand, and he finally had enough and took off for Philly last summer. This is a place where careers go to die. It's an awful, awful place to get stuck playing pro basketball. I feel very sorry for Blake Griffin if he's a Los Angeles Clipper.
To build on that, Barry, here's the numbers. The Clippers have lost 50 games 17 times in the 25 years that Donald Sterling has owned them. And if Blake's an ESPN subscriber, ESPN the magazine, in his mailbox today, a 6-page spread on all the many problems of Donald Sterling, including the federal government charging him with racial discrimination. A big problem. Barry, any chance Tommy Griffin, who is Blake's dad, has Archie Manning on speed dial?
Well, I don't know. I actually know somebody who's a friend of Archie Manning, Clay Bennett. You know, you talk about your collusion, but maybe Clay could give him the phone number. But no, I mean, I wouldn't want my son to go play for the Clippers, I promise you that. I mean, we talking about Rubio doesn't want to go to Memphis. It shows you that his basketball IQ is not that high yet, because where you want to stay away from is Clipper land. That's the #1 place to stay away from.
You know, I had a slogan when you told me that they, or when we found out they had Blake on their website for like season ticket packages, you know, and any suspense whatsoever who they would take. I thought maybe their slogan could be, even we can't screw this up. And then you tell me this morning that now Rubio is also on the page.
He's crept onto the bottom of the page.
We're trying to screw this up. Barry's right. Never say never with the Clips.
So you don't buy the talk that the Clippers are going to take Blake no matter what?
Oh, I buy it. Oh, I think they probably will.
I mean, I don't think there's any doubt unless somebody tells them not to, or if they get a nice trade. I mean, they'll listen to trades. I just think it's going to be a terrible situation for. You know, Danny Manning was a wonderful player, and he was a good NBA player. But he went out and nobody ever heard from him again playing for the Clippers. It's just a place where you go play in the shadows, and you're the minor league team in town. That's what you are. The Lakers are the major league team, and you're the minor league team. And you got a terrible owner, you got no chance, and you got poison in the locker room, a bunch of disgruntled veterans. It's just the worst case scenario.
You mentioned Elton Brand when he got a chance, and it wasn't like the Clippers weren't throwing a lot of money in front of him. But when he got a chance to leave, I think he went as far away from the Los Angeles Clippers as you can get in the continental United States. Yeah. I mean, going to Philadelphia, he kind of took out an atlas and said, "How far away can I get from this?"
And he called the commissioner and asked if they would expand to Paris, because he was willing to get as far away from LA as possible. I mean, it's an awful situation.
Is there a trade out there for the Thunder and the Clippers, and for the Thunder to end up getting Blake Griffin?
I actually think that if you call the Clippers and say, listen, give us one, you take the #3 pick, which might be Rubio, who knows, but you do that, we'll throw in our first-round pick later, number 25 this year, and you get our 2 #1 picks next year, ours in Phoenix. All of a sudden, you've offered the Clippers, you've offered them a swap of really good players, Griffin and Rubio, and you've given them 3 first-round draft picks. You've got to think long and hard if you're the Clippers, because this is a team that is so top-heavy on salary. They've spent so much money on bad seeds, but good ball players, but bad seeds. Baron Davis and Zach Randolph, and Chris Kaman's making a ton, and Marcus Camby's making a ton, but he's only got 1 year left on his contract. But the only way you can ever offset that is to with young talent that is pretty cheap, and that's the value in draft picks. So, I mean, I think they've got to listen to it if you make that offer.
That's your 93
That's
scenario.
the 93
John.
scenario, almost verbatim, because the Magic picked first, signed Weber or got Weber. The Warriors picked third, picked Anthony Hardaway, threw in 3 draft picks, sent them flip-flop. Weber goes to Golden State. Could happen again. Let's hope it does.
Power forward for point guard. Nice
And 3
little-
picks.
And 3 picks. There you go. Hey, we'll be back in a minute. We'll talk about the life of Wayman Tisdale.